Morgan's a singer-songwriter, and he's going to be telling you his story and then singing a song for us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks. G'day. So, as Ken said, I sing and play music for a living, and I spend a lot of time on the road. I've been pretty lucky to spend a lot of time on that road with some cool people too, like Taylor Swift and Alan Jackson and a bunch of guys in America as well. And I've been involved in Be Street Smart for the last few years because I think it's such an awesome thing. I think it's awesome because we all know how to be safe on the roads, to be safe drivers. I mean, if we did a test right now, we'd probably all do really well. But I think the key thing is when you're behind the wheel, that it only takes a split second to go from everything's fine to being in some serious trouble. And I think events like today, seeing a scene like this and hearing people talk and tell these stories are the kind of things that I know that when I sit behind the wheel, I'm thinking about those, and that's what keeps me alert and hopefully out of trouble. And that's why I'm here to tell you my story as well today, because I probably shouldn't be here to tell it. It was, to understand it completely, you have to know I started a band when I was 13, and we started touring and playing shows, and by the time I turned 17 and got my full license, I was straight in a car. Any car we could borrow or get our hands on, a van or a car with a trailer or a four-wheel drive, and we were driving from Newcastle to Sydney a bunch, up and down the coast, and we actually used to play in Byron Bay about once a month because we loved it so much up there. And the night I want to tell you about was a night I was in Byron Bay, not for work, just with a bunch of mates, and we went to the Blues and Roots Festival up there. And we spent 2 days there, the Friday and the Saturday. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we were there with about 15 of our mates, and we went to 2 days of the festival. And on the Saturday night, we were all back at my mate's place in Lennox Head, and everyone started to crash out, and all the beds filled up, and the lounges filled up, and the floors started to fill up, and everyone was going back to the festival the next day on the Sunday. But my girlfriend and I didn't have tickets to the Sunday, and as they were starting to crash out, we sort of looked at each other, and we were like, we could sleep on the floor, or we could just drive home and sleep in our own beds in Newcastle. And at this point, we'd been at a festival for 2 days. We hadn't slept much the night before, and it was midnight. But there was me thinking, I've done this drive like 20, 25 times, I know the road, it'll be fine. And looking back now, I can see how ridiculous that thought was. But at the time, we were invincible, and we thought, yeah, let's go do that. We'll sleep in our own beds. And we waited till everyone crashed out, and we jumped in the car, and we just hit the road, the same road I'd driven on a bunch of times before. And after about 2 hours, I started to get pretty sleepy. It was like 2 in the morning, and as I said, I hadn't had much sleep. So we pulled over, grabbed a couple of cups of coffee, and sort of felt okay again, jumped back in the car, and it only took about an hour for the next time, and we got extremely tired, and I was like, we need to stop. So we pulled over. We'd already had the coffee, and we grabbed a bite to eat and had a bit of a stretch, Felt okay, jumped back in the car again, and then after about 45 minutes, I couldn't keep my eyes open, pulled over again, and I got a Red Bull and some water and had another little stretch. And I'm sure you guys have all felt that feeling of being extremely tired, like so tired, and then somehow getting this second wind or third wind of energy. And we got back in the car, and I must have felt that, I felt great. And to the point where I actually told my girlfriend, I said, hey, if you want to crash out for a bit and grab a couple of hours sleep before we get home, by all means, just go ahead, I feel fine. And she went to sleep, and I put on one of my favorite albums, and I was singing along, driving along this country road, and I don't remember it happening, but I just went from being awake to being completely asleep. And all I remember is a huge bang. I woke up to a huge bang, and then I could see in my headlights grass higher than the car just falling down in front of me. So I slammed on the brakes, and I was in shock at the time. I sort of lost track of what time was at that point, and I turned to my girlfriend. I said, are you okay? And she was in shock too. She'd woken up with the bang as well, and sort of checked myself, and remarkably, I don't know how we weren't injured, but we weren't somehow. And the sun was starting to come up at this point, and I got out of the car, and a couple of police cars had pulled up there, and I turned around, and I could see the tracks of the car, where the car had been. We were 50 metres into a paddock, and we'd come round a bend, and I had 110 kilometres per hour on the cruise control. We'd gone across double lines. We'd launched off an embankment, and we'd hit. The bang that I heard was us hitting a barbed wire fence, which fell down, and we went through that, and we'd gone 50 metres into this paddock. And somehow we survived, which is the reason that I feel like I need to come and tell you guys this story. And hopefully it, along with the other things you've seen and heard today, will be in the forefront of your mind. I mean, we have to drive a lot at night time now for what I do. You know, we drive through the night to get to gigs, but if there's a band in the car, I've always got one of the guys has to sit in the front seat with the driver and has to be engaged in conversation. And we have to stop and have breaks. But I mean, if you don't have to drive, driving at night is a bad idea. And if you have to drive a long way the next day, then definitely get a good night's sleep the night before. I can't stress it enough. But I think I brought my guitar along. I might just sing you guys a song now. You guys feel like singing too? We might get to that. Is there anyone from Newcastle here today? Yep, that's them. There's a song called Like a Tornado. The clouds are brewing overhead. I felt the lightning in my veins. I hung off every word you said as you washed over me like rain. We were hot as an Indian summer, cool as an autumn breeze, a perfect storm when we're together, electricity. You blew like a tornado through this house, cleaned my heart right out, tore me down, spun me round. Now I'm standing in the wreckage, no warning, no sign. You shook this heart of mine, it's broke wide open right here where you left it. Just hoping you come back around like a tornado through this house. For a moment we were flying, well, every kiss it burned like fire. We were wild and we were blinded, guided only by desire. It was too late to run for cover, couldn't stop it if I tried. This love's like a hot loose wire, electrified. You blew like a tornado through this house, cleaned my heart right out, tore me down, spun me round. Now I'm standing in the wreckage, no warning, no sign. You shook this heart of mine, it's broken wide open right here where you left it. Just hoping you come back around like a tornado through this house. With a devastating rush, you wrapped me up, left me in the dust. You blew like a tornado through this house, tore me down, spun me round. Now I'm standing in the wreckage. No warning, no sign. You shook this heart of mine. It's broken, wide open, right here where you left it. Just hoping you come back around. Still hoping you come back around like a tornado through this house. Like a tornado through this house.
Thank you. Geez, you guys look good with all those phones up, right? You got time for one more? Hey, so you're about to get a lunch break, and during the lunch break, there's a whole bunch of cool things to check out, but while you're doing that, please come down and say good day to me. I'll be down here, and I'll be, I'd love to say hey. This is a song called While We're Young. I got more ambition than I've got money, but you're sure pretty and you think I'm funny. It's alright, it's alright. You don't have to prove that your aim is true, 'cause baby, you got me and I got you, and it's alright, all night. I don't care where tomorrow goes, or how it feels right now. It's all we need to know while we're young and our hearts run wild. It ain't wrong if we stay up all night, maybe fall in love. Someday we'll look back and smile, tell the stories of the crazy things we've done while we're young. We could turn the night till it's upside down. We could follow the van to the next town, wherever that is, wherever that is. We could find ourselves coming unwound at the end of the road, where the only sound is your lips on my lips. Well, I don't care where tomorrow goes, as long as I got you. Well, I don't need to know while we're young and our hearts run wild. It ain't wrong if we stay up all night, maybe fall in love. Someday we'll look back and smile, tell the stories of the crazy things we've done while we're young. All right, it's your moment to shine. I'm going to sing While We're Young twice, and you're going to sing it back to me. We're going to blow the roof off this place, all right? Here we go. While we're young, while we're young, while we're young, while we're young. Awesome. You guys better come say good day in this lunch break. If you can't, please tag me if you take a good photo. I'll repost the best ones tonight. I'm at Morgan Evans Music. Please, one more time. All Phones Arena is never going to hear you guys sing as loud as you're about to. Ready? While we're young, while we're young. While we're young, 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 and our hearts run wild. if we stay up all night, maybe fall in love. Someday we'll look back and smile, tell the stories of the crazy things we've done while we're young.